Hello, Facebook family. I'm so glad you could join me today once again for our weekly message where I have the privilege to come through your screen to mentor you, to take you to the next level in your life. And today I want to talk to you about the price of leadership and success that is so crucial to your life today. If you want to experience and taste success, you must understand the price of leadership and success. Success doesn't always come to those who are spiritual. Now let me say this again and mark your mind and mark your thinking. Because sometimes we think just because we are spiritual that it automatically guarantees success. Well, spirituality is wonderful. And you need to be spiritual. You need to be a man of prayer. You need to be a woman of fasting, and a man of fasting, and a man who believes the word. But being spiritual does not always equate to success. Spiritual people do not always make great leaders. Now, here's one thing I want you to think about. Just because somebody is spiritual doesn't mean that he is a great or she is a great leader. Now, a leader may not be spiritual, but still be an effective leader. The world is filled with leaders who were not spiritual, but they were effective leaders. However, if you can couple spirituality and couple the principles of leadership together, being spiritual and being a leader, then what will follow is supernatural explosion and supernatural growth in your life. And you need to learn to do that. Men in the Bible, like the Apostle Paul, were spiritual, but also an effective and great leaders. And when you couple leadership and spirituality together, then you will have exponential success and growth. All right? Winston Churchill, one of the most phenomenal leaders who lived in the 20th century, said this: "The price of leadership is responsibility." Let me say it again. The price of leadership is responsibility. To stay positive whether you feel like it or not. Responsibility is one of the hallmarks of leadership. Now, the moment you walk away from responsibility, you will die a liability. So as a person, in whatever field that you may find yourself in, aspire to be a great leader. And in your part of leadership, make sure that you never walk away from responsibilities. Many aspire to be a leader of men, but few there be that can be an effective leader. But you, my friend, you got to do your best that in whatever field that you find yourself in, that you must take strides to be a great leader. Not just a leader, not just a positional leader, but a functional great leader. And you can do this. And for you to be an effective leader, an effective person, an effective businessman, an effective pastor, there are some laws that you must tap into and principles that you need to activate. Remember this, that the largest room in the world is room for improvement. There's plenty of room for you to improve right now. Being an effective leader, to taste success, will cost you spiritually, will cost you physically, will cost you mentally, will cost you even financially. In other words, it's going to cost you the whole of your life. So before I give you some principles today, I want you to think about this. Ask yourself these questions. How far do you want to go? What are you willing to invest, and what are you willing to refrain from? How long will you sustain this? Before we go any further, ask yourself these questions and answer these questions yourself. How far do you really want to go? Are you willing? What are you willing to invest? How much are you willing to invest? And what are you willing to refrain and walk away from? And how long will you sustain this? Now, to be successful, to be effective, a leader must understand the law of vision. The law of vision. Proverbs 29 and verse 18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Where there is no vision, the people perish. What is a vision? It's your goal. It's where you're going in life. Vision is a mental or invisible picture of where you are heading. What is your vision? Vision is what you see internally. It is to be your focus. What are you seeing internally? Now, the whole world outside may be a mess, but what are you seeing on the inside of you? It's your focus. It shows what you focus upon. Focus is anything that consumes your time, your energy, your finances, and your attention. Focus your mind. You see, it loses runs in all directions. What track are you on? The law of vision. In the absence of focus, in the absence of vision, we become strangely loyal to performing daily acts of trivia. Let me say it again. The reason why you must have a vision. Where are you heading? Where are you going 1 year from today? 5 years down the road? Where will you be? Where will you be financially? Where will you be physically? Where will you be in your family? Where will you be in life? You see, in the absence of vision and focus, we become strangely loyal to performing acts of trivia. So many people are performing everything, doing, going here and there, doing all kind of stuff, but never having their life like a laser beam going in a particular direction. Hey, listen, one of the laws of success and leadership is that you gotta have a vision. Your vision, your focus. Therefore, your actions, when you have a vision, when you have a focus, your actions and your daily performance must complement your vision. My actions complement my vision. They must do so. Otherwise, I will never get to my vision. Your future success is determined by your present focus. Let me say this again. Your future success is determined by your present focus. So I want you to ask yourself this question today. When it comes to the law of leadership and success, what is your vision? Write down your 1 year vision, your 2 year vision, 5 year vision goals, and your 20 year vision goals. God bless you. I'll see you next week.